Elevate your mind through these signs of the time. Dishing out that medication for that death, dumb and blind. And I ain't hard to find, you can catch me in no trenches. I do the groundwork and I ain't waiting on no sense. I be touching on them topics politicians fail to mention. And I don't vote for nobody that ain't got good intentions. I'm relentless for my people and I'm here to make a change. I got that true serum hooked directly through your veins. Hey, this is for my people, tune in, catch it close up. Close up, close up, a close up, grams of it. Tune liters of it, close up, pounds of it. Pounds of it, yeah, grams of it, liters of it, pounds, get your dose, 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 dose,
we got it all in there this time. The echoes, the shots, the claps, you know what I'm saying? Shit, I'm waiting on the champagne bottle to pop or something like that. But okay, you know what I'm saying? This is Dosed Up. It's Monday night this time. We hit you on Tuesday last week, but it's Monday at 8. We dosed up. I'm Sharp Shooter, aka Dose. That's Lab. Usual suspects back in the building to holler at you.
That's right.
Appreciate everybody showing up, tuning in. Little weekend recap.
How was the weekend?
Oh, well, you know, I'm just living a life now, you know what I'm saying? This weekend I ended up doing like another movie shoot.
Okay.
Just a scene this time, you know what I'm saying? And I'm appreciating just being a part of things. I'm appreciating being able to observe, being invited, you know what I'm saying? It's favor for favor type thing. Still reaping what I'm sowing from that Tyler Perry studio, you know what I'm saying, visit. That's that seed that's grown. It's grown into a tree now. I believe.
Okay.
It's gonna start bearing some fruit. But what I did experience on this scene was different ways that people like direct and write their scripts. Different ways that people improvise when they're behind the camera.
Okay.
A couple of things that I noticed are gonna always be the same. You're gonna shoot that scene multiple times. What I found
several times.
Okay. And you have to be very humble when you're invited to something that you're not necessarily scripted in, because you have to understand it's like cameos.
Okay.
And, depending on, you know what I'm saying, how it goes, you may get a little bit to say.
Okay.
So first of all, I had to pick whether I was gonna get dropped. Somebody had to get off the shot unalive. And we had to rock paper scissors for it. And
so let you pick it. They let you pick.
No, they didn't let. It was between me and someone else. All right, so somebody was either gonna get unalive, and another person got a chance to still stay and say whatever they want to say. All right, so but both of us got a chance to say something.
Okay.
So the unalive person got dropped before, you know, and then I got a chance to say something or whatever. But we paper rock scissors for that particular role, whichever one's from getting one of them two.
Okay.
And if I cause we didn't really want to choose, you know what I'm saying.
Right.
But if I lost, I was gonna happily do it. It didn't matter, like and with no friction. So I didn't know anyone on that set when I showed up. I'm talking about nobody. Ain't no one from Adam. And now already I got numbers.
You connect.
So yep.
Okay.
So
that's what this show is about today, right? Network, communicate, and unite.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. What else did I do this weekend? Oh, yeah. Spent some time with my uncle. Helped him. He's getting his house together. So I did a little bit of construction and landscaping on the side. That earned me a little bit of money, man. And then went to the crib, man. Finished writing up the first scene that I'm gonna do with my own project that I'm working on about to film.
Oh, okay.
So I got permission from my barber to be able to use his barbershop.
Okay.
So his barbershop is definitely gonna be in the scene.
Okay.
And he can be in it too if he need to be.
Right. So you are using what you're learning on all these movie sets and networking, communicating, uniting with folks, and applying it to the movie the movie that you are making.
Not necessarily just movie, but movement in a way of life now.
Yeah.
I like the domino effect that I'm having. It's not a snowball effect. See, snowball effects to me are negative. This domino effect, everything's going in the same direction to a degree, which is the way I need it to go. There are things happening that I didn't expect to happen.
Right.
But it's good and it's positive. And what's also happening is I'm starting to attract, know the lingo, know what to look for, and just know how to blend in instantly when I'm around these things.
Okay.
Another thing that's happening too is I'm getting a particular light around me, or it's just the work that I'm putting in, the ambition that I have is making it so that people want to join or allow me to do things. Like my barber finally was like, after asking him about 3 or 4 times, once I presented it a certain way, he was like, you know what? We probably, all right, go ahead.
We can make that happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
But sometimes, people will tell you, he never said no. People will say, I'll look into it so many times to see how real you are. Because he keep telling me, people ask me all the time, you know what I'm saying? But maybe they don't ask him 4 and 5 times with fire in their eyes. And then
ambition.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Then let me tell you what else sealed the deal for me too. I was able to send him the skit of the movie I was in, and I sent him a skit that one of my coworkers filmed. Okay. And I'm like, so he has visuals to see now. Okay. I'm like, yeah, this is what my media group is capable of. Right. And we would like to, but also to sweeten the deal, I'm like, of course we're gonna pan in on the outside of your shop, right, to get that free promo.
Free promo, right?
Then we're gonna scan on the inside, and then if you want to be in it,
walk on by.
Yeah, and put your shirt on too. You see what I'm saying? So that's how you get all of that in one. But that's networking as well. Right. But see, it's a double win for the group that I'm in, because let's say their barber may not be, willing to do that or extend the hand. Right. Well, now they got a shop. But see, what the shop does for us is it saves us any kind of money on recreating one. Because as I recall, when I went to the Tyler Perry studio and visited them, in one of the studio rooms, they had it set up like a beauty salon or a shop. Okay. So they had, whatever those are, those little tubs that the women put their heads in the sinks and things like that. And then you got the barber chairs. Okay. But see, that's stuff that you would either have to recreate, make, or go get, purchase, and buy and put in there. Right. With a barbershop, it is what it is.
Already set up already.
Exactly. So the ambiance of whatever you're trying to do is straight realistic. Right. You can't get any more realistic than that.
I get it.
So that's a scene that we definitely gonna have to take advantage of. Okay. Now another thing is, you don't want to leave that extension open for so long. Like I say, y'all want to be here 4 months later, 5, 6 months later. Hey man, you know what? We ready to shoot that, because now you might be like, man, you ain't real, or the moment.
You ain't ready.
Yep.
I've been ready. Like, where y'all been all this time?
Yep. And suppose if I shoot it, like let's just say before August is out. And they see how it's going and they like that, they want to do something else, or they have another facility or something else they want to offer. Or he's like, hey man, you know what? Let's kick that podcast off in here now.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Right. It's all based off of me moving in a certain time
frame. In a certain way, right.
Like now is the time for me anyway. Right. I'm not waiting, I'm not procrastinating. And that is how that's one of the things that I look for when I'm recruiting, which is one of the things that I have up under the networking, communicating, and uniting. When I get to that, I'll start explaining what I look for when I specifically recruit. Okay. But the first thing that I kind of like to touch on with the networking and the uniting and stuff is like talking versus wasting time. Talking is always good. You're going to always have to do that, whether it be a meeting, texting, Zoom, phone call, whatever it is. Just make sure you get that communication going on. And make sure that who you're talking to understand and relate and leave a two-way street. Like, ask them how they feel about certain things and take their input as well. Because you just don't want to just dominate.
You need to have an open line of
exactly
when it comes to that.
Exactly.
You need to be able to receive as well as transmit, right?
Not only that, and it's also like, I just realized you have to have a lead and some type of person that's going to be more vocal than others, and it seems to be me, because I put this group together. Right. But like, I don't dictate. Right. So there's a difference between leading and dictating. If I'm leading, I'm laid back and I'm communicating, but I'm like, hey, anybody got anything they want to say it. Anybody got anything on their mind, anything that's creative, that's feasible of doing, we're gonna try to work with that. Everybody holds the same amount of weight when it comes to talking. Right. I just so happen to be the person that decided to put everybody together, because this person may not know this person, but I know him. Now y'all all do.
Well, you are the main domino. You're the one who knows everybody, and then you're the one who knows all these folks and decide to put them all together. So generally, you are going to be the person who leads off the group, because of the fact that you're the one who knows everybody within the group. You know what I'm saying? It'd be kind of strange if I come in the group, and my second day in the group, you invite me in the group, and then I start taking over the group. People gonna be like, we don't know him. You know what I'm saying? Because you already know folks, so you don't want to. You don't want to break that bond that y'all are creating within each other until people feel uncomfortable with each other. People real funny about their art and their creative space when it comes to certain things and people. So you're doing the right thing by letting them get to know each other first.
Man, it's always good to hear your wisdom on some of the decisions that I be making, man, because that's actually in how I recruit. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of recruiting people that won't really do that. You see what I'm saying? And if they did do that, it would be a necessary or a need for it. But to kind of hit home on, because I see this in some other groups that I'm a part of, and I'm not necessarily in a leadership role.
Right.
And I see a lot of repetition, like repeating themselves without action.
Right.
And that's what I mean by kind of like talking versus wasting time. Because you only have a certain amount of time with a group of people to produce some type of action, some type of product, some type of, art, something that they can hear, see, feel that came from what we were just discussing, or you're going to lose their interest.
Right.
Once you start losing the interest, you've already lost the lead.
Well, let me ask you a question on the interest part. Do you believe that within your group or the group that you are part of, as far as networking, do you believe that you have to touch on everyone's interest, or just have
question.
A universal interest for everyone to kind of sprout off of? Like you plant that root and everybody just sprouts off that one thing.
So first of all, just part of me being the type of person that I am and the character that I have is what's helping. And me, I want to help anyway.
Right.
So in this particular situation, it's not about like convincing anyone. I pick people because they were interested.
Right.
So I'm not going to lose their interest as long as I cater to what they're interested in. And we're all interested in forming a project or getting work done.
Okay.
So, and I pick people according to their skills and craft so they can be used each time we're trying to do something. And if they don't participate, it's because they don't have the time or they're not available or something similar, or they just don't want to, but it won't be because we bullshit and wasting time talking, or we didn't want to allow them.
Right. I get what you're saying.
And it's funny you said that too, because first of all, one of the reasons why I do more texting than talking or Zooming is because it eliminates a lot of talking over each other.
That's true.
But one of the cons to the texting is if you send out text at a certain time of night and you want everybody to see it, and I'm just sending it out and I don't really want too many responses. There's a person I know that's gonna probably hit back about 5 or 6 times, and I'm like, man, I just wanted to really like wish these people a good night, let them know what's happening. And you trying to take me into a conversation a little bit longer, but so far, I mean, we've been courteous of everybody about that. No one has really complained, and then I'm always like, I'll just encourage them to just hit their button. You know what I'm saying? Just for the mute it for the time being, if that's the case, because no one's trying to do it intentionally and out of harm.
Right. What I've learned from being in a group setting with the small amount of groups I've been in, the dynamic of the group usually changes over time, which is that the people's interests usually change, or their prospect of things that they want to do generally change. Like when you start, like this podcast, this whole Misfits Radio thing, we started with 4 people. The 5 people. We started with 5, and 2 of them dropped off, and it was just more of, I guess it was more of just their interests change. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be prepared for those. I find that you have to be prepared for those dynamics as well, because over the course of time, people do lose interest in certain things. I'm guilty of it myself. I may be interested in this today, but tomorrow or 2 weeks from now, I'm going to try something else. So how do you think you adjust for those? Because they may still want to be in the group, but say if they're a photographer, and now you put them in the group as a photographer or a film or a filmmaker, but they saying to you, man, I don't do that no more. I'm not interested in that no more. I'm DJing now. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
How do you because now the dynamic changed, because you may have 2 DJs already in the group.
So no, what I'll do, first of all, kind of part of once again, the way I'm recruiting people that either do this for a lifestyle or a living, or art is something of what defines them. So if they lose a passion for this, like you said, and picked up a passion for DJing, we can still use that. But also what I will do is, when it comes to, if it's in somebody, trust me, they're not going to stop.
Right.
Also, what I can do then is, if I got somebody, let's say you're my cameraman and you like, hey man, you know, I ain't really feeling this too much or something like this. I'm saying, hey, okay, you know what you got going on August 22nd about 5 o'clock p.m.
Right.
And how much you gonna charge to pull up and do this? And it's like, I'll break off and make an event so they can feel productive and be busy.
Right.
But other than that, weekly I encourage people. Like, these people want to rock with me, one, because of who I am.
Right.
Two, because of what I've done, and they see me in action.
Right.
And now they're activating the wolf in me. Like I ain't, like, they understanding, like, I'm like, hey man, we not finna keep doing too much talking, like we about to start popping this thing off.
Right.
Okay, so then it's like encouragement every week. Congratulations, we got a new member. Everybody introduce themselves. All right, y'all, this is what this new member can do. This is what everybody can do for ourselves. Congratulations again, the new member. All right, at the same time, check it out. We started on the script. We know what the script is going to be. Scene 1, I'm shooting it out to the cameraman. All right, I shot it out to the barber. I shot it out to the actors that's going to be in scene 1. Okay, so now what I'm working on now is getting the wardrobe for whatever that scene going to be, trying to get the props and everything together as far as the extra ammunition and whatever else we want to do that don't involve what's at the barber shop.
Right.
Okay, everything else is written.
Okay.
So once I get the physical stuff that we need, now I'm like asking the barber, because he has the location, what's the best time? And then I'm like, we can do this either at night after it closed, or we could try to do this like maybe on a Sunday if you're not really open on a Sunday, maybe at 3-4 p.m. with a little bit of sunlight, or however we want to do it. We want to abduct this man broad daylight from your barbershop, or we want to do it at nighttime. But once the barber gives me a particular day, or at least after this, he already told me after, so now I'm going to start branching out to the cameramen and the main people that's going to be in the scene. And see, that's another thing that I'm learning too. You can use your brain. It's more than one way to skin a cat.
Right.
I don't need 50 people for this scene, so I don't have to try to involve all 50 people.
Right.
All I need is me. I need maybe about five people at the most. The barber, the person that's going to get abducted, me, another person with me to abduct him, and a getaway driver in the car.
Right.
And now we handle
that scene
But
done.
we still may have 10 more, like, let's say I got 6-7 more people in the group, but I don't have to bother them with that. And we can get that one scene together, put it on ice. So when I need another scene that requires more people, then now it's time for a little bit more organization. I might give them a little bit more time, and I'm always gonna give somebody maybe like the 2 weeks heads up notice.
Right.
And we try to make appointments with this. See what I'm saying? Like when I went to this thing yesterday, it was I call that a fly by night. That was spontaneous.
Right.
Bruh hit me up in the morning, and I was like, yeah, I think I'm available for that, and I went on ahead and did that. So the last thing that I kind of wanted to point out, maybe like talking versus the wasting time, is, and I kind of mentioned that, like, allow room for other people's questions and input, and like make sure that they understand your information. And a lot of times, don't be that long-winded. You know what I'm saying? Because it can make a person lose interest, or it can seem like you don't really know the objective of your goal because it's taking you too long to pinpoint it. Like a lot of the times, man, somebody can tell you exactly what their goal is because they done had it on their mind for so long.
Right.
So, and then you just sound more self-assured with your accuracy in the limited time that you take to get to your point when you're dealing with a group as a leader.
Right.
The second thing that I kind of wanted to get on would be like being reliable and consistent, especially with your contact numbers, a website, or an app that you're going to use. I'm not judgmental, meaning like if somebody want to join my group, or if I want to do business with somebody, I'm not looking all at their page trying to see how many followers and likes they got and judge them based off that, because they could be a bad person. You see what I'm saying? They could be having negativity around them. They can have all these likes, but every time it's time to show up, you showing up 30 minutes to an hour late and wasting my time.
Right.
You can have all these likes. I got my content and we working with you, but you talking bad behind me, behind my back.
Right.
Or you plotting, you know what I'm saying?
To take over the group.
Exactly. Things like that, you know. So
let me ask you a question though, based on it before we go forward. On the likes and follows and all that stuff. We talked about it before the show came on. Do you find that it's harder to get people? Well, it's hard to get people within the group or to work with the group because they don't think you have enough followers and likes and all that kind of things. Because you run into those things even with us giving out interviews and all that stuff, and things of that nature. Some people just won't do it because they don't feel you have enough followers.
So here's the thing with me. Living your purpose has no likes or dislikes or no follow button or no heart emojis and all of that. When you are confident in what you want to do and it's in you, okay, picture someone trying to talk Michael Jordan out of the path that he was on.
Right.
That shit wasn't gonna work.
Right.
But now, how many people will want to join him?
Right.
All right. So, and basically, by the time he started hooping in college and hit that UNC shot, it would be a lot of people that want to join him. You see what I'm saying? So it's like people understand greatness when they see it, and it doesn't have to have a dollar sign to it.
Right.
But I will say sometimes now what I'm driving up in helps.
Right.
What you wear helps, how you present yourself helps, how you groom yourself helps. But the main thing that I hear that stands out more than anything, which will make people want to talk to me or work with me, is what I'm saying and how I say it.
Right.
How I present it. They just be like, you well spoken, you got the gift of gab.
Now you said something earlier before the show that kind of struck me, because you're not really a social media person. You say, you know, I really got to get more content out. I got to start being on there because it shows a lot more, I guess, a lot more things. Because, you know, we talked before a couple of shows back. He's like, you know, I really don't be on social media like that. I like to be in people's faces. But, we were talking, I was like, well, you know, social media, you kind of got to have a little social media going on, too. And it kind of struck me when you said, I guess I got to put more content out there.
So let me tell you this. See, like me, when I think, man, I think in multiple layers, like how the world is in multiple dimensions. All right, so one of these layers of putting things out on social media to me is it's an app that's easier for me to pop open than to me to scroll through my videos and find the right video that I need. So I can just say, all right, well, just go to my IG and you can see, you know what I'm saying, what's going on. That's one way to do it. Or I can shoot them the Misfits Media Group, you know what I'm saying, on the YouTube. That's another way to do it.
Right.
And I don't have to go through my personal shit and take time to find it and then this ain't the one I want to see. This now you have all of them you can see kind of at one time.
Right.
So that's one layer to it. I'm not necessarily just doing it on a daily basis because people like to do that to draw heat and attraction to it.
Right.
You can draw.
Zip was saying he need to do more. He need to be more present on social media and advertise what he's got going on.
That's all that's coming.
Yeah.
Like right now, I have something that I'm focused on so much, and it is the hardest. I'm taking out the hardest first.
Okay.
The hardest goes first.
Okay.
And I'm getting good at it. Like this right here. To me, the hardest part of doing this at first was just being able to sit down and can do it by looking without looking at the paper and things like that. And
that is a very hard thing to do. A lot of people, once they get things in their mind, we're gonna go back to the group. Once they get things in their mind, a lot of times it's hard for them to veer off the paper. It's hard for them to, even if they may veer off the paper. Let's say if you had a guest and the guest veers off the paper, for some reason people like to go back to the paper instead of just letting the conversation flow.
The most comfortable thing you can do is understand that you can make a mistake and not freeze up.
Right.
And maybe even admit the mistake or learn how to kind of communicate where you're improvising and freestyling a little bit.
Right.
We were even freestyling some with the acting, and that's dope because it's not gonna sound rehearsed if you freestyle it.
Right.
If you keep going over the same line, after a while you may sound robotic, or they're gonna judge you based off the emotion and be like, he can't act.
Right.
If I'm just saying like, damn man, look at Buddy right there, you don't know if that was written. So you don't know if I stuck it like it's supposed to stick. You just gonna be, you don't know if I'm acting or not. You be like, that he sound like he sounded. Right. I mean, he ain't sounding like he messed up. Then you would be like, is he supposed to say that? Wait, you see?
Right.
I would rather you have that than I'm supposed to be like, damn, man, he messed up. You see what I'm saying? Now my vocal done went up some, and you like, that shit sounded corny. You see, so I'm learning. These are the things that you learn. When
you adjust. You learn how to adjust without reaction. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
All right, so like a third thing that I have for the networking, communicating, and the uniting, and I like that word uniting because I don't even really think the people in the group understand. They call it a collaborative, a group, gang, this thing, media gang, you know what I'm saying, La Familia, all this other stuff, right? But what I'm doing is I'm uniting a bunch of people that in the name of art and in the name of what they like to do. So when they look up after a while, when we be like, man, we can't get 15 people and 20 and 30 people together, that's what I'm gonna have.
Okay.
Then it's gonna lead to 50 to 100.
Right.
And then you can accomplish anything then. Within them 100 people, you're going to have everything that you need, and they're going to have resources on top of resources because somebody knows somebody that knows somebody.
Right, right.
So with that, you're definitely going to need some organization. Unification with organization. So and that, I kind of said some of these things, like setting up appointments is definitely like some organization. Itinerary.
Right.
You got to have some schedules, objectives. Let's see, meetings, and I like to give updates too. Updates to me is part of organizing,
right?
Because you don't want to be too stagnant with the information that you're relaying to your group or your people, and it's the same thing that you said last time, or you don't have any positive forward movement, or you forgetting what you said last time. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of the times you have to make sure. Either like they were recording some of my Zoom meetings, but if it's something important, that's why a lot of times I text too, because I can go back and read the text.
Okay.
Or I'll put it in my notes and send my notes out as text messages, so that they won't be like, remember what you had said, or what are we doing on this day again now? And I'm like, damn, I said we were doing something, because I am a part of multiple groups.
Right.
And I don't want to confuse any of them.
Right.
And I don't want to shortchange any of them either. All of them gonna get 150% out of me. You know what I'm saying? And what I love about it is when you are organized, you can set things up for different days.
Right.
I know I got this group on that day. I got this group on, kind of probably like how you do your podcast.
Right.
Stuff.
Yeah, I do it like, you know what I want, and I want to ask you about this, about being in groups. The one thing I run into, and I say in Atlanta because I haven't done it in any other state as far as this is concerned. The one thing I run into, especially in the DJ community, is egos. Oh man, and
that's on here.
That's
number 6.
DJs together, trying to network with them and collab with them on certain things. I find, and I'm just speaking about DJs because that's what I do. That's what I love to do. That's my passion and my creative voice, besides other stuff and poetry and all that. But that's my main thing. I find that it's the egos are so big. Like the egos are like, even when you invite them down, you say, come down. We'll set you up, live stream your set and all that. It's like pulling teeth. It's like, I got 5,000 followers. What I need you for? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
oh wow.
And I'm thinking to myself, they don't say that, but just the fact that they don't even bother to answer the DM or bother to say anything back to you, it's I don't want to say it's disheartening because I'm gonna keep pushing what I push, but it's just like sad, like don't everybody know you? Everybody don't know you.
All right, so I'm gonna tell you this because sometimes it happens to me, and I see this. First of all, ain't no blue little official tag or whatever that don't make me any more official than what I am.
Right.
My word more official than what any seal, any app gonna give you.
Right.
So I could care less about what somebody got on their app. I keep trying to say, like, your likes don't mean shit to me.
And
it's how you do your business. Now, how I deal with egos like that is like this. If I hit you in your DM and I'm asking you like, hey, what are your fees?
Right.
If you think I'm a creep, or if you think I'm somebody trying to reach out and I'm beneath you because you scroll and you see I don't hardly got no posts or no followers, that's on you, because it's some money or a check behind that question that I just asked.
Right.
So you can downplay it and sit high up on your horse. I just hope with that 5,000 followers you got up there, them folks paying you for what you doing, because I was finna pay.
I mean, but not even that, but just exposure. Just
that too, yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that exposure is everything, but when you're in a situation like filming, photography, DJ and stuff like that, sometimes just getting a live stream going or being able to show a video of you doing these things is a great thing. It helps out with your marketing and promo. And if you have someone like say you say, hey, I'm gonna be shooting this video today. DJ in my group, come out and play music for me, man. Set up and do your thing. I really ain't got nothing for you, but it's gonna be other people there that you may can network with. And he say to you, nah, bro, I need to be paid for that time.
So here's the thing too. Another way I deal with egos and create a competition. But it just depends on the type of ego you have.
Right.
Not all egos are necessarily, I would say, obnoxious to me, or to the point where I can't deal with them.
Right.
Some people's ego will bring out the best in you.
That's true.
Like, I want an ego when it comes to somebody that's gonna go in their booth and be an MC or something. I want an ego when it comes to someone if I'm trying to get a clothing line done and they like, man, I'm not gonna let you come in here with this bullshit because I'm not gonna attach my name to it. I'm like, oh,
right,
all right, cool, let's relate. Now, I don't want an ego that's gonna be to the point where it gets jealous. See, sometimes the ego may make someone spite you. I don't deal with them kind of egos. If it's a camaraderie, competitive type of thing, and we can build from it, we can make something from it, and I can get better from that. Let's do something. If not, man, we can all do the same thing. You just don't need it. You don't need that type of energy because what I'm learning is this: if I want to take 50 days, in each 50 days, reach out and friend request or DM or recruit 50 people, shit, after a while that method is going to build up. Out of them 50, you may get 10 that accept.
Right.
Okay. Now you send 50 times 10, add that up. Now imagine if they start looking at you. You see what I'm saying? You can do it yourself. Folks, you do the shit with MySpace.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Right.
So before they knew the game on how to build up viewers and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? My purpose ain't to keep asking somebody to look at me though, dog.
Right.
My purpose is to speak in that volume and that frequency. People will tune in and vibe with you, man, if you keep going.
Right.
It's energy, man, that's really gonna make them. It's not they're not doing this shit because you asked them to.
Right.
They're doing this because they like something about you.
Right.
So all I gotta do is keep doing this.
Keep pushing.
Yeah. So now we're going to the recruiting stage because the recruiting is the most important. That's how you start eliminating certain egos because you're going to look for some like-minded individuals. But mainly I'm looking for people that's ambitious too.
Right.
Because I don't want nobody stagnant. I like the devil's advocate, but I don't like the Debbie Downer.
And it's all. Do you think? Let me ask you. Do you think there's always a Debbie Downer in the group? Man,
no.
we can't do that, man. You know, you can't do it at the barbershop because it's gonna have too much hair flying around. It's gonna get in the camera. You know, stuff like that.
See, to me, that's a scared person or something like that. And what I'm learning is you ain't gonna be no millionaire if you don't take a risk.
Take chances.
It don't have to be an illegal risk, but you gonna gamble on something, brother. And you gonna put in some extra hours, and you gonna sacrifice, and you can't do it alone. You are going. This is why we're talking about networking.
Right.
If you network, you will be able to become a successful entrepreneur.
Right.
That's all it is to it. And you also have to be wise about how you network and wise about who you invest in and how you invest.
Right.
Like you can't just be dumping no $5,000 into a Bitcoin bid because somebody told you on Facebook and think that that's gonna help your group out.
Right.
And next thing you know, you don't never get nothing back from it. But back to the recruiting. I'm also recruiting for professionalism. You have to have some professionalism about yourself, man. Some education about yourself. I ain't saying you got to have all the degrees, but you can't bring ignorance to the group. That's just going to, stifle us. We don't have time to keep trying to inform you and teach you on what you're supposed to be knowing at this level and stage in the game of what we're trying to accomplish. Okay, let's say, what else? You have to show up and be willing to participate. Believe it or not. Oh, that's funny, man. One time I went and applied for a job, and that man said he didn't care nothing about my credentials. He was an old school cat. He said, "Can you show up on time and will you show up?"
Okay.
And I was like, man, so you mean to tell me I done rattled off all this to you? I done prepared this speech. This is me talking to you. I done prepared all this speech to you. And you only had one question to ask me? And he was like, well, hell, if you don't come to work, it ain't nothing for me to tell you.
Right.
I said, I like you, man. I was like, all right. So, and of course I got the job.
Right.
So showing up, man, is one of the most important things, especially once you weed it out or you find, picked out who you want.
Or you agreed to show up, right? Like if you agree to do it, sometimes things happen. Things happen all the time. Life's. But you do agree to show up, and you don't show up, and you don't say, hey, Shoutah, I can't show up today, man. I'm sick, or my wife did this, or my son needs me to do that, and you just don't show up. Like, you don't say anything about it. You don't care. You don't
whatever.
Oh,
no. Okay, so well, once again, in my group, if something like that happened, well, if we're depending on you, and you just no call no show, and we need you for what we got going on, technically, I should have someone else that could replace you. As far as if maybe you're an actor and we got this particular role nailed for you, right? Okay, so guess what? We will shut that down and shoot something else.
Right.
Or I give you 3 times to do this. I do it like baseball.
Say, how many times you gonna give them to do that though?
You know,
shut down your production.
Well, it just depends on if we got money riding on this.
Okay.
And like I say, it's got to be a good excuse. If it ain't no good excuse, man, I don't want to hear it. Because once again, in this recruiting process, I'm recruiting people. This is what you do.
Right.
Like, I do this now, but I also work. But you see, I'm doing this now.
Right.
And you have to say that. You got to be this shit if you want to be a millionaire at it. You got to be this shit if you want it to work. Bill Gates and them had to be what they wanted to be, man. You know, if they wanted it to work. They had to think about this day, every day you working at this. You not okay. Every day somebody get up and punch the clock and work for McDonald's. Every day that they on that clock, they gonna talk about that menu. They gonna know how much money to give somebody back. That's all they talking about, right? But if you punch the clock and you have nothing to do like that for yourself, that's all you're going to do is do that. Well, when I punch the clock, I'm talking exactly like what I'm talking now to get this shit together. So I ain't got to keep punching nobody's clock.
Right.
And then once again, I flipped the perspective. You don't always have to go into work thinking, here I am working for someone else. You can go into work, think, let me knock these 8 hours out. And guess what? I'm going to take this money from this and invest it into what I got going on right here. Right. And then once this pay off, I'm investing in something else. No, I got 2 different ways of making money while I'm on this person's clock. Sooner or later, the 2 ways might turn to 3 and 4, and then you get off the clock. All right. Another thing that I look for, and when I'm like into the recruiting is, I don't want anyone that think they can do it all.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm looking for people that I'm recruiting you for a skill that you have. We can use that skill. Now, and you can learn to do some of the things that we have going on as you go, but that person that say they can do everything probably can't do,
all things.
You see what I'm saying? Well, give me what you've mastered.
Right.
Because now you're great at that. And then we'll take that, and then you can add bits and pieces in the other departments as we go. But I'm mainly picking them for what they say they do and what they good at
on a regular basis.
I also pick people that want a team oriented, and then they understand they have a strength, but can also admit when they have a weakness. Because the last thing I need you to do is think you're strong in the area where you're not, and now people have to either try to pull you aside, or we're in the middle of filming something and you keep trying to press the issue. And you kind of like the joke in the room when it comes to, we know you're not good at that, but you don't understand. So see, it's a lot of these things that I've observed seriously from
I'm
that.
Good at everything.
Hey, okay, well, if you're good at everything, give me the one thing that you're the best at. I'm gonna keep asking you. All right, so which leads me to another quality, the number 5th thing that I look at when I'm networking and communicating and uniting is like role playing. All right, so once you have recruited that person, man, for that role, play that role. That's what I just said. See, if you're in that specific role, how you gonna be playing that with the good at everything when we specifically wanted you for this?
Right.
So we have a cameraman. All right. So now we got a cameraman and 2 DJs. If the cameraman say he want to DJ, you gotta first prove that you even good at that, because we know you good at being a cameraman.
Right.
So what I say is, well, right now we have 2 DJs. If we have someone that needs a 3rd DJ for a particular occasion, since we're going by seniority now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you would still get last dibs. You would kind of shoot yourself in the foot.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, like, you know what I'm saying, with the role playing, I mean that like on film and off the film. So when you on film, play the role that you've been, scripted, or that we've asked. When you off film, meaning play the role that you play within your group. So there will be no confusions.
I get what you're saying.
Also, we have some people, like, your role could be like to find set locations. Your role could be wardrobe. Your role could be editing, or sound, lighting, stunts, getting together the props, making sure, assistant directing, like making sure the actors know where to stand when they're in front of the camera. That's something I peep. Sometimes you have tape and lines on the floor.
Oh, okay.
But see, you don't understand that till you get in there. And that's why I say someone that's willing to participate as well.
Right.
Because let's say you don't have a particular role to play in this, but your friend is like, hey, man, I'm about to go, you know what I'm saying, to this set. I got a role to do. You're welcome to come, and you know you're into acting. You're welcome to come. Go. Go, because you never know what might happen. Somebody else may not show up, and boom, you get to go. Or you can see shit like what I saw. Oh, man, they got an X marks the spot, literally. So you got to walk over there to that X. Meanwhile, you have to understand when you're acting, you ain't looking at the camera.
Oh.
You're not.
You're not supposed to.
Okay, so think about it. If you and I in a role, what we look like looking at the camera talking, you see what I'm saying? See, these things,
those things are hard to
literally start being around things.
Those things would be hard to do because I'm going to look at the camera.
Well, it's
I know I'm going to get kicked out of the set, but...
Hey, they might be like, cut. Well, what you doing? Like, you
I'm going to look at the camera like, yeah, what's going on, y'all? Whatever my lines is, I'm going to be looking dead at the camera.
Yeah. So, but like, oh, yeah, and if your role is to write that script, oh, yeah, please stick to the script. Because when you acting and you don't write scripts and you want to start trying to write funny shit, and if it's lame... we not going it can't fly.
Right.
And then see, now we don't want you to be upset and not want to act, or you thrown off in your acting because your blood pressure done got high, because we won't write your lame ass joke into the script.
Well, let me ask you a question. As being part of these groups that you're a part of and being part of these movies that you're starting to get roles in, how do you, on the group part, how do you keep people understanding what you just said? Like, if you have somebody on the set of the movie that you're shooting and they say, man, put this line in there, I think it's great, and you're like, nah, that don't even go with what we're doing here at the barbershop, and they get upset and pissed off about it, how do you rein that in? Because to be honest with you, that whole attitude that they have, if you keep them in the movie, could mess up the scene.
So here's the thing. Main thing is to be like, bro, you're not a writer, so you're not going to get credit. Now, if you say something and it's funny as fuck, obviously we're going to use it.
Right.
Then you can get credit for that. So that's the catch-22 to it. We'll just be like, bro, okay, I explain it to you like this. And it's funny because I've had to do this in real time. And I was, all right, so I really wasn't the writer for this. Someone else had already, I actually kind of intruded, but everybody wanted me.
Okay.
So we were waiting on the original writer to get there, and we really had to improv this within 48 hours. So the original writer didn't have anything kind of written. He had to think of some stuff on the fly too, because obviously you can't lie. You pulling stuff out the hat that don't even really go to this.
Right.
So anyway, by the time his ass showed up and was late, I had already taken over. We had good material that everyone had started memorizing. It was funny. So when he got there and tried to take over and his shit wasn't funny, I had to be realistic with him. And I said, okay, if you're saying this now and no one's laughing, why would the audience laugh at it?
Right.
And that hit home. I said, if we're saying things and we're laughing at it as we're saying it, obviously when you get it on camera, it's a win-win.
Right.
So it took a little bit of common sense, reality check, and nobody's having fun with you, so nobody was really going to do it. It wasn't going to turn out good.
It wasn't going to be good.
And he didn't want to be the embarrassment of the failure, so he had to stand down. Now, if everyone it just was like, okay, we're going to go with him, I would have been a man about it. I wouldn't have been mad. I would have done my part, and I would have been in my mind, this shit going to be lame as hell. We ain't going to win nothing. But, hey, this is a learning lesson.
Right.
I'm still going to take the good people that were a part of this and work with it. You got to take, you know what I'm saying, the good with the bad.
The good with the
and
bad.
Weed it out.
Slick say no crybabies.
Thank you. Exactly, man. You got to be grown about it, and you have to be able to control that ego, because the point is to get the best product.
Right.
The point ain't to be able to get the most credit for the product. And now I went from role playing to now I'm addressed the ego, because you mentioned the ego. So first of all, like, if you spread the work out, you can kind of cut back on some of the egos, because a lot of people have certain things to do. Then, okay, so I have everyone in the group. If I know certain people are kind of egotistical, then I can approach them or talk to them separately.
Right.
That way I can deal and put that ego in check. Because it's like, look, bro, I understand where you coming from, man. You know what I'm saying? hold that down with the group, because if you're making some people, I haven't had anyone make the group uncomfortable.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, they really don't speak unless I speak.
Okay.
So we're going good. Now I'm gonna keep adding more people in it, but it's kind of like, as I'm getting these people, they looking at me. It's almost like I'm a don of this or something like this.
Right.
So it's like
they gonna come through you anyway. Like I said earlier,
yeah,
you are the main.
Yeah,
you are the main catalyst that brought everything together. So you know everybody. So they're actually going to bring their issues about or their ideas through you that it may have to do with someone else. They're gonna bring it to you until they get comfortable with everybody else, or they just may bring it to you because you are the one who started this group.
So I do a lot of our and we more than I. If it's I, then it's something like what I'm going to do for the group as a whole, so they can benefit.
Right.
But I mean, when you appear no nonsense, meaning like not nonsense violent wise, but no nonsense like, look guys, we don't have time to procrastinate. They see the talent in the writing. They're more willing to, I ain't gonna say bow down, but shit, I got it.
Right.
I give you an instance. Okay, so it went from me talking about the script to I wrote it, and when I sent it out, I got, wow, that's written. I couldn't have done it like this.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So now that just reinforces why I'm me and why they don't mind being behind me. Another thing is no one had to choose me. So no one has to feel bad about what it is. You're joining. You're joining because you want. No one chose me to be over you. I asked you, did you want to be a part of something? You said yeah.
You said yeah.
And so now, based off how I'm running with it, you like it even more. I'm doing it more like I'm doing this shit so you don't have to, more of as opposed to trying to control them.
I'm doing this shit because it's my group.
Yeah, like I'll jump in.
You're
the
not doing it like that
sometimes. Yeah. Okay, so it's like how I told my daughter, okay, what, you want to get up here and try to set up the studio time? You want to get out here and grind and do this and that? You want to ask for the tracks and pay for the tracks? You want to sit here and sit down with the producer while he make the beat? Or you want me to just give you the beat, tell you to come to the studio and record it with me?
Right.
You don't have to make no calls. I'm doing it for you. It makes it easy.
I'm making it easy.
People are relaxed now. Like, that's what I do. I'm like, hey, man, I'm here to relieve your stress.
Right.
So with that being said, it ain't really no egos, because ain't nobody gonna have an argument with somebody that's doing something for them. If they don't want to do it, you ain't got to do it, because I ain't got no ego to make you do it.
Right.
I have someone else that's willing to do it for me because they see the end goal. When you got someone that you know is up on their shit, okay, like you knew what Malcolm X was about when you saw him and heard him. You knew when he came into the room
what it was gonna be about.
If he said some shit was gonna happen, it's gonna happen.
Right.
You know, there's just certain people that move like that. You know what I'm saying? That it's not hard for them to keep your ear and attention, because each week or each month it's gonna be something productive.
Well, let me ask you a question about the group, networking, communicating, and united. What was the hardest thing for you bringing the group together? What was the hardest aspect of bringing this group together for you?
The hardest,
in your opinion, not just saying that this is gonna happen with every group, but in your opinion, what was the hardest part?
The hardest part is finding people.
Okay.
And people that do what they say they're gonna do.
Is it people that?
And when they say they're gonna do it.
Was it hard finding people as far as what you needed in the group, or was it hard finding people who was willing to be a part of the group? Because there's two different aspects of finding people. You finding people who like you say, I need 2 photographers, and you want a certain kind of photographer, a certain kind of criteria, and trying to find that criteria. Or it was more hard to find the people who wanted, like you say, I found the photographers and they got my criteria. Now I need to ask them about the group, and they're like, nah, I don't want to be a part of the group. Which one was harder?
None of it is hard when you paying somebody.
Okay.
So, like how I did it, I told the actor, first of all, a favor for favors. Like I say, I operate like mafia.
Right.
So, and I take what I learned in the street. Actually, this shit is even easier. I told my friend, I was like, shit, when you master the streets and you can master working, this shit here is easy as fuck to do.
Right.
Because one, people want, just like how people want product, people want progress. Okay. Progress don't have to come in the form of a product. Progress can come in the form of an update.
Okay.
Progress can come in the form of a location.
Okay.
That they couldn't get. So now I'm, oh wow, look at what he's done for the group.
Right.
Keep bringing them shit. Keep doing things for them. But okay, so once you bring it though, you got to organize it to start making it happen. But to keep them, it's like I say, when I'm looking for them, it's what I'm saying when I have them. So as far as, it was a guy that was acting, and I realized, I said, okay, what I did for him was, I said, I know you act, but do you understand that you can act on a beat? Meaning, I was like, look at what Dolomite and all them do, right?
Right.
Okay, and so when I did that, it kind of clicked, and he was like, yeah, I can do some voiceover. So I said, all right, come to the studio with me.
Okay.
All right, so now I took that actor from behind the camera film and put him behind the camera also as well, and behind the microphone. All right, I'm gonna tell you how I put him behind the camera, behind the microphone. First, I put him behind the microphone. All right, so then he recorded on my stuff. So now I got the actor doing other things with me. So now we locked in. So if I need him to act for me, he'll act for me.
Right.
Because I fed him some music and some shit that he hasn't done before.
Okay.
All right, so with that being said, while we doing this, I'm like, hey man, we need to get this on film because I need content. I'm gonna have to start making content, and I'm gonna start shooting it to TV companies soon. Right. You got a cameraman? So he said, yeah. All right, boom. If I'm asking someone I'm already doing business with, does he have a cameraman? And he shoots me the cameraman. I'm like, okay, what's the cameraman fees and all this other stuff? Next thing you know, me and him are in a conversation with the cameraman. I get the cameraman to show up 2 times. Now, as I'm talking to the cameraman, hey, see how he just did this right here? Right. Why don't we just be a group?
Okay.
This is what I just said to him.
Right.
So now we ain't got to worry about that no more, right?
So we all know what's up with each other.
And then the cameraman mentioned to me, I heard him. See, I pay attention. I listen and I observe. You can't just be around people if you want to unite and you want to get shit together and be like, oh, black people don't unite. Oh, we can't get people on. And you don't even listen to what they say. So I heard the cameraman say, man, I'm trying to work on a project I need, right? Finished. So now what you have is, there's a tack that you can do this. You got some people, oh, you do filming. Oh, I want to act. He didn't say he needed another actor.
Right.
He didn't say none of that. He said, I'm working on a project I want to finish.
Right.
Now me, how can you finish your project? Well, you might need some locations. That's what I said to him. I said, hey, bruh, I got a creek right around near me that I was trying to get used in the movie that I was doing. The shit is dope. You want to check it out? This man showed up within 24 hours, and he's going to use that location.
Okay.
You put him onto it. Me. You. So now he's like, what did I just say? In recruiting, you can find somebody that looks for set locations. This shit is a job, y'all. Somebody literally came to my house on behalf of a movie company.
That's right. Your house is in 2 movies, right?
Yeah, that's a set location. All right, so with me doing that, I'm valuable. Not only can I act for him, not only did I pay him to come and film me doing rap, so I supported his business,
right.
I also put him on to a set location. So, what you think he gonna do if he's in a group with me? Has he benefited already?
Already.
All right, so that's how I get people to be in groups with me. They benefit. They see shit happening and popping off on multiple levels. It's levels and dimensions that I work off of. Right. I think outside the box. So that you understand, a lot of people want to fuck with somebody that think outside the box. I bet. So we'll run it like that. But that's kind of like, you know what I'm saying, how you handle egos, man. As far as what I'll do also, if it's an ego, as far as somebody wanting to be a part of something, man, give them a cameo.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Work something in there. Alternate. You know, give them that opportunity so that every person is heard and every person has been able to participate. And after that, you know, I'm going for punctuality.